afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to call the meeting order. Today is Wednesday, October 15th. Let the record reflect that all board members are present, so we don't have to take a roll call, correct? And we will move right on to public comments on agenda items.
There's none today.
Okay, then we will move on to consent agenda.
I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda. We would like to discuss some items.
I have some stuff in the report here. So for the Friends, we've received some disappointing news that Amazon is changing their structure and process, including time frame for sellers to ship items. They've been a little bit lenient in that. It's dropping down to within 24 hours a book has to be shipped, which is not possible given the complexity of the system and how few volunteers are able to do it. And so the Friends are trying to figure out other possibilities, but this would be a pretty big hit to this. It makes more in the room than all the other cards combined and more than the other sales did. So we're going to be trying to help them as much as we can, but they're going to have to make some changes, we think, because of this. For the director's report, I wanted to note that we have an artist that did the Three Bears sculpture in Portage has requested that we consider purchasing the Three Bears now that the lease with the city of Portage has expired. As a reminder, these were leased by the city of Portage under the prior administration and resided in the garden for the last 2 years. We've kept them on wood pallets and moved them around because we didn't believe it was a permanent installation. And so we didn't want to put those in the ground. So we've kind of moved them to a few spots in the garden. There's been some confusion with the artist as the current city administration does not want to wish to renew those, and the artist believed that it would lead to a sale. I've communicated this with her. She's requested that we consider purchasing it. I told her I felt the price was a bit high at $15,000, and that generally our art installations are quite a bit less. And I said if she could find a donor, we would certainly consider looking at it at that point. And that in general, I felt the South Haven Library might be a better fit for it, but at $15,000, it's a little high. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it so I can give her an official yes or no answer on it.
I think the price is too high. I think they were never meant to be permanent, and I don't think we should buy them.
When can she come pick them up?
Very soon is my understanding.
If not, I can drop them off.
Yeah.
There are 3 different sizes. The biggest one's about yay high, and then they kind of go down.
And they're made of
Metal.
Are they like 3D or are they
They
more
are
like a
flat
cutout?
metal.
Okay.
They're cut out and painted on the front.
Okay.
And the replacement price you wanted to know was $30,000.
Similar art in front of the animal shelter on 49, 3 dogs.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Nothing near $15,000 here. And that was,
Even though it's, it doesn't go with the rest of the theme of what you've done there, correct?
Not really. She felt it did because of the metal. I felt that if it was going to go somewhere, a woodland creature in the woods in South Haven makes a little bit more sense. But again, at $15,000, thank you, Clay. That's the Three Bears there.
oh yeah, I remember this. Are you making a motion?
Do we need them?
Well, it really just as long as I have your direction, then I can feels like everybody's in favor.
motion.
Would be good.
Get into the minute.
I move that we do not purchase these bears and nor renew any sort of lease or keep them on our property in any public library at all.
I second. Motion on the floor to not purchase the bears that are currently at the library. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
In fact, we'll begin charging rent after 30 days.
Motion.
Secondary motion.
Not good.
That's what I heard.
Okay. Do we need to, nothing else on there, treasurer's report or anything like that?
Do you have anything you'd like to note?
I know what Cargo Technologies is. Oh, good.
Okay. All right. Looks like the consent agenda has been covered then. So, Do we have a motion in a second? Okay, so no further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to items for individual consideration.
So the 2026 budget adoption, we received no public comments, questions, or concern regarding the budget, and I'd like to request approval. Following adoption, we'll upload the signatures to Gateway, and that will complete our portion of the 2026 budget process. Move approval.
Second.
Motion and a second on the floor to approve the 2026 budget as previously presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, so this will be the bigger one for me today, the Hebron Garden proposal. And I just want to give you a kind of a status update on it and pass around. And I'd remind you, I am not an architect or designer. But this kind of gives you a little bit of a layout, and I didn't even do that. Mine was worse. And I'd love to
It's also $15,000.
So I tried it. It's pretty awesome. It's doing some interesting things, but I wanted to update the board on where we are in the Hebron Garden and what I hope to have before you for the next month here. So first, we're going to be sending out RFQs for gardens fencing and the pathway so that we can have those received and be able to be approved in November, which is a good time to get these sort of things approved because work has dropped a little bit, and then we can take care of the project in the spring. We have also been getting quotes for a solution to our rear entry out of the youth department. We have some drainage issues down there where the drain is higher than the surrounding area, including the library's youth department, which you remember the flood about a couple of years ago, those sorts of things. So we'd like to address the drainage, and it's also a grassy slope, which is not ideal coming out of the emergency exit. So we'd like to resolve that and make it a usable space moving forward. We've also been looking to get some different like composite decking. There's some issues with that apparently, in that the grade is much lower than I mentioned to you slope wise. It's 11%. And so having stairs that meet accessibility standards over that period of time essentially means that you have to do a stair to a level surface, to a stair to a level surface. And so we're trying to find somebody to do a quote on the composite for sure, but it looks a little bit more challenging from what we've heard, but we're going to give it a try. We've received quotes for the demolition of the giant flower pot directly outside the old Carnegie entrance. Our idea is to remove that, repair the brick behind it, which when they took off the old stairs, they just basically floated with dirt. And so we're going to have to remove that off of the front, do new footing, lay new brick. We can reuse much of the brick from the front of that pot, we believe. And then the total cost for that, $3,400 to have the brick removed, the debris hauled off, $4,400 to repair the brick that they didn't put in place behind it, as well as new limestone caps. And that would have kind of the front of that finished off. So that's $7,800 to get that completely removed off. Once removed, we can work on replacing that with a small stage. And our idea is to kind of have a sloped area up to a slightly raised platform. Doesn't have to be very, very large. We want to keep it fairly modest to make the accessibility a little bit easier to it. But that'll give staff just a little bit of a raised platform to do the programming on. I'll be getting quotes here. Hopefully we get a couple more in to move our small air conditioning unit on the front of the building where the library entrance is. To the west of it is where our AC unit is, kind of in the middle of the building. We'd like to move that closer to the corner of the building to give us more garden play space and put a fence directly across it from one corner to the other. We'll have a gate and everything, plenty of airflow through it, but that will keep the kids away from the AC unit, make it kind of nice and tight so it doesn't look like we have one. But then we can also use that fence to do some more art displays, vinyl clings and whatnot on there, book spines on the planks. So it kind of has a little bit more of a pop and color on it. We have quotes for the installation of the baby grand piano, which including the concrete to install it and the drainage necessary and taking the drainage to the drainage point is $7,300. And I'm working with Park Creation on some table options for ADA accessible tables that we can move around. They're the company who helped us identify how to make some of our features a little bit more safe, so we don't go all in on something that can get us sued. So they've been really to work with so far. I appreciate.
And they're local, aren't they?
They are, yes. And we're still waiting for delivery of our wind turbine wrench. So all told, there's going to be a flurry of activity here in November as we start to get these bids out and get them received. And then hopefully we'll have everything ready to go and we can get that money out on this year. And then they can begin construction based off of their needs. So if there's good weather, they may be able to do some of it early winter or early spring here. We'll at least be off on our way. So that's what I got for the Hebron garden proposals. And next month again will be the big one.
What's the total effort so far?
Oh my goodness. Was it? Well, we gotta subtract off what they paid for that.
Just roughly.
Well, the baby guarantee, do you have anything off the top of your head here?
The baby grand, well, the donation was like 28,000.
Yeah.
All I got are the donation numbers in my head because I just did the garden website. Tug tubes were like 7,000-ish. We've got the Hebron grand was 20. We've got less than 50, I believe.
And then we got 27 in donations so far.
And then, yeah, it's less than 50 so far.
No, go ahead.
You've got some stuff in the packet from American Concrete Raising and from, what's his name? Bob McLean?
Bob McLean.
Are you asking for approval of these quotes?
The Bob McLean one, if we want to go forward with that stage idea, I would recommend approval on that because then he could begin work. The concrete work, I just want you to have it available because if we're waiting to get the composite decking quotes so we can look at those numbers, we'd want to hold on that until next month.
So you want to approve the Bob McLean proposals?
We would make it like a lot easier if we could, for sure.
Well, I think we make life easier for us.
I appreciate that. And that'll give, again, though, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. That would be the removal off the front of the building and replacing with the deck and then hopefully a small art installation right behind it. So it will be a fairly substantial modification, but I have no idea why they put a giant flower pot there at the time. And I really wish they wouldn't have. So I wish we would have got the stairs, actually. That would have been an easier modification.
Seriously, I move approval of the proposals from Bob McLean for the tear down and demo work at the Hebron Public Library branch.
Okay.
Motion on the floor to approve the proposal for the tear down and remodel of the front area presented by Mr. McLean. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed?
Thank you. Okay, camera quotes. Before I hand it over to Inga, I just wanted to note again that we spoke with the police department here in Valpo about tying our external camera system in, which we agreed to a few months ago. They noted that they had a camera with the same functions that we wanted with our Mercata system that we've been in love with. And you've heard me talk about endlessly because it's so amazing. Yet was significantly less expensive. We were skeptical, but did some digging and it turned out to be a fantastic tip and is definitely quite a bit of savings. So you go ahead.
Yeah, so we actually also reached out to our current camera vendor, which is Videotech, and they offered also a system that they support called Your 6, which is similar, kind of the same sort of class of camera. It has a lot of the same similar functionality, so that way we can have a few different quotes to compare. Unfortunately, their quote wasn't very responsive. They did not provide us with the same breakdown that we had requested as the other camera vendors did. They also just did not include South Haven, which we had requested. And so with that said, our main consideration was between Northwest to provide the Vigilon system, which is the system that the Valpo Police Department is using, and also Cardinal, our managed services provider, gave us a quote for the Mercata system, which we have installed at Hebron. And so the year one costs for Mercata for four branches that we were considering, all branches minus Hebron, would have been about 186,000 and a lifetime estimated cost of about 269,000. A Vigilon, on the other hand, would have had a year one cost for all four branches of 139,000 with a lifetime cost of 197,000. So a lifetime savings of a Vigilon over Verkada of about $71,000 or about 27%. So with that, we tested both. We did some demos. We have not seen any significant difference in performance between the two. We believe that a Vigilon has all the same functionality that we're looking for. So with that in mind, we would recommend selection of the Vigilon system.
And the lifetime would be 10 years approximately.
Approximately 10 years.
And that's the one that Valpo.
That's the same one that the Valparaiso Police Department has. Yeah. So even if we wanted to go with another solution at our other branches, we do think that there's some extra benefits to having that in Valpo, but I don't really see a reason not to do it everywhere because it seems like it does everything we need it to for less money. Verkada also let us know that their costs are going up 10% in November. So that will be even higher very shortly.
So what will we do in Hebron?
We have Verkada there, so we're happy with it. So we would just leave that in place.
And that's a standalone thing. It won't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just a web interface. So basically it comes down to you just use a different link to get to that one. So it'd be nice if they were all the same, but it's not a big deal.
We've been dealing with it on two separate for a year and it hasn't been a big deal. It's one of those, you just click it, go.
And it's still, I mean, Verkada is a great system, so I'm happy to continue to use it, but yeah.
Anyone likes to make a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion on the floor to accept the bid from, what's the call again? A Vigilon, thank you. That is a word I've never heard before. As presented in our
For the
board
next decade.
packet. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, guys. We're excited about the features.
Yeah, good.
Is that it for you? Okay, I guess that is it. Is there anything else anyone else would like to discuss before we adjourn?
When do we do the motion to transfer unused budget into the rainy day fund?
Change. That way you know how exactly what we have after encumbrances and everything.
Okay, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
No.
We're thinking that it's going to be daylight for this meeting. Next meeting, it will not be daylight.
That's true.
So, and actually the sun seemed to be coming out as I rolled in here right at 4. Okay, I have a motion. I have a second. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thanks.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there supposed to be a-
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't run away. So, this